Skinny Harder Way SouthernTea. I'm back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you here for a good time or a long time, if y'all could do your boy solid, smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. I know it's other people live right now. I know y'all got things to do, but I greatly appreciate you sliding through. We gonna be here for a little second today, right? I ain't had my long conversation with y'all, right? My daily talk with y'all. We had a morning talk, right? 48 for about an hour this morning, about 48 minutes this morning, early this morning. But I ain't had my daily talk. I ain't had my daily talk in honor of it being David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight week. First big fight of the year, right? The first mega fight of the year. It feels like, right? Jamel Charlo and Tim Tszyu was supposed to be the first one, right? But this feels like the first real big fight of the year. And I'm excited for it. If y'all haven't checked out my fight breakdown and prediction, y'all do your boy solid. Y'all check that out. I did that last week. You know what I mean? It's been up about a week now. I got it as the header for my intro coming in. You know what I mean? I got it as my header. So make sure y'all check out that fight breakdown and prediction. I dropped that thing. Was good, Nazay. Appreciate you sliding through. Glad you can make. I'm about to bring the camera, man. We about to roll up. We got to pull up. We about to get it going. We're gonna have us a Caleb Plant, you know what I mean, conversation today. I want to talk to y'all about, something that I noticed, something that I've been paying attention to, right? Y'all know I'm a Caleb Plant fan over here. It ain't no secret. It ain't no secret that I'm a Caleb Plant fan. What's good, Shaw? Appreciate you sliding through. My guy, Nazay. It ain't no secret that I'm a Caleb Plant fan, right? And I'm a Caleb Plant fan for a lot of different reasons, right? Largely, I say, the growth of Caleb Plant, right? I seen Caleb Plant, go from not even boxing, right, to being, your regular basic boxer, right, to being 168-pound champion of the world, to defending that thing about 3 or 4 times. I open this joint, right? I got a Caleb Plant story for y'all, right? Now I don't I was about to lie. Now I didn't know Caleb Plant, you know what I mean, at this time, right? I didn't know who he was at this time, you know what I mean, because it was like early. Me and Caleb Plant about the same age, right? But it was early. It was early. We was at the casino. And they have fights. They have fights down here near Tennessee, right, in Mississippi at the casino, Tunica, Mississippi. Y'all know Bird Knuckle Brawling. Y'all watch the Bird Knuckle Brawling stuff. The Bird Knuckle Brawling is in Tunica, Mississippi. That's like 20 minutes from where I'm standing at right now talking to y'all. You know what I mean? So they had a Bird Knuckle Brawl fights there, but they've been having fights there for as long as I've been alive. You know what I mean? In Mississippi, in that Mississippi circuit, they've been having fights there for like the duration of time because in Mississippi at those casinos, right? It's not necessarily on the land in Mississippi. Matter of fact, it's not on the land in Mississippi. The casino is like offset on the boat. So the fight laws for Mississippi and the rules and regulations for Mississippi or whatnot doesn't apply, to the casinos, to the casino in Mississippi where all these fights go down, where Bird Knuckle Brawling goes down right now. Johnny Q, what's good, Johnny Q? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Johnny. If y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy, let YouTube know that we live. Did y'all get asked when y'all came in? Did y'all get asked when y'all came in, or did it send y'all straight to the stream? You know what I mean? But Mississippi down here at the casinos in Tunica, right? It's a big fight bed. It's a big fight venue, right? Where they have fights, boxing matches, MMA matches. Go out and come back in, shop. Go out and come back in and tell me if y'all got ass. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all go out, come back in. Tell me if y'all got some ass. I appreciate y'all working with your boy. Y'all know y'all don't be sending me no cash after super chats anyway, so I gotta not that much. No, I'm just playing though. But yeah, I just be trying to see if YouTube be taking care of me like they're supposed to, right? YouTube's supposed to, do their job to help me get bread, right? By putting the ads in there, by putting me in the algo. They ain't doing their job. I gotta do my job. I keep dropping y'all content, right? Which what I'm finna get back on. As y'all see today, right? Back on you know what I mean? But I'm a fan for a lot of reasons, y'all. Like it's just, it's deeper than just, the last couple of years or just a Canelo fight, right? But I digress. So they have fights down here, near me. They still have fights there. Bare knuckle brawling is there right now. But I had went down to the casinos, you know what I mean, with my uncles and few of my uncle partners, my distant uncle. He said did it twice in no tea. Okay, appreciate you. You know what I mean? So I went down there, with my uncles, my uncle friends and whatnot, because we wanted to catch some fights. It was a mixture of boxing matches, mixture of MMA matches, right? A mixture of kickboxing matches and everything, right? We didn't go down there for no particular fighter in general. We basically just went down there to go to the casino, right? To play the casino games, to drink, what you do at the casino, right? And catch the fights while we there. I didn't know anybody in particular. But, I'm watching the fights. I'm a little younger than them, so they more so, there to play the games and everything. I'm strictly there, to eat, drink, and watch the fights because that's really what I came for. At this point, I'm about, I'm about 20. I think I had just turned, 21. So, we down there watching the fights. I think if I'm 21 at this point, Caleb might have been about 19, 20 years old, something like that, right? So we down there, we watching the fights, right? And it's a kickboxing match, coming up. Now, at this point, right, I don't know who Caleb Plant is, but it's a kickboxing match coming up. And this young man named Caleb Plant, he's fighting in one of the kickboxing matches that they got on the show. Now, it's a story now, right? The story, sound like something. It's a story now, right? It's a story now, right? The story sound like something else. Right, what's good? Quick, appreciate you sliding through this thing, quick. Glad you can make it. If y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy, y'all smash that like button for your boy when y'all roll on there, right? They'll keep your boy in that algo. So it sounds like a story right now, right? The Caleb Plant jump, right? But when we down there at the casino at this time, we just, it's a mixture. So they got boxing matches, MMA matches, kickboxing matches, right? So we just down there, watching fights. And at this point, right, a guy named Caleb Plant just happened to be one of the fights, on the card. So I'm just watching this fight with the same relatively. I'm just watching this fight with the same relatively. Y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I'm watching this fight, with the same lenses as I'm just watching any old other fight. Because at this point, right, it says 0 people in here. I don't know why I say 0 people in here, but it says 0 people in here. Because at this point, right, Caleb Plant is just another guy. You know what I mean? He ain't, the Caleb Plant that we know right now, right? So I see this guy named Caleb Plant fight on the card, and he ended up winning, right? It was a kickboxing match. He ended up winning. Type, I'm drunk as a fool and everything. So I see him. He ended up winning the fight. Right? So I see later on, right? We're on TV. Appreciate you, Queen. I can't see the number. It says 0 here. I don't know what's up. It say 0 here. I don't know what's up. You know what I mean? But so I'm watching TV, a few years later, right? A few years after that, I'm watching TV. Could y'all do your boy a favor? Y'all hit that thumbs up. I don't really know how many of y'all in here right now. YouTube doing something with my number. But if y'all could do your boy solid, hit that thumbs up for your boy, let YouTube know that we live, right? So I'm watching TV, a few years later, right? I'm watching PBC. I'm watching this PBC card, right? And I see this boxer come out to the ring, right? And his name is Caleb Plant. And I'm like, man, that man right there look real for me. This Caleb Plant dude look real for me. He kind of look like this dude, right? That I seen, fight down in Mississippi. You know what I mean? Back when I was younger, right? So the fight go on. I see this dude named Caleb Plant. You know, he touched him. He touched the guy. I forgot exactly what fight it was, but he won the fight pretty easily. He touched the guy up, right? So I do a little research. I'm like, Caleb Plant. So I go to Google, I go to Caleb Plant, right? And I'm like, it say that he do mixed martial arts. He got a kickboxing record. And I said, man, you know what? This is this same white guy that I seen fight down in Mississippi back all those years ago. He boxing now. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, I saw this dude fight in person, a while back, did Caleb Plant, right? So I'm like, okay, that's the same guy that I saw fight in person when I was a young nigga. You know what I mean? So I've been a fan since then. I was a fan of him, of his skill set when I saw him in the ring, in the boxing ring, right? And then I realized that he looked familiar. I did a little Google search, Googled his name, and turns out it was the same guy that used to be the kickboxer all those years ago. So I rediscovered, Caleb Plant and after, an actual live event in my life down at the casino in Mississippi. At the casino in Mississippi, they still do the bare knuckle fights right now. You know what I mean? So I got a chance to see Caleb Plant kickboxing match. You know what I mean? All those years ago before he was even boxing full time. I think he was still in between boxing and kickboxing then, right? But I don't think he was doing boxing full time. He eventually grew to do boxing full time. Yes, facts, Johnny Q. And that's what we're here to talk about, man. I'm just, I'm getting y'all ready. I'm getting y'all ready for the main thing, right? For the long haul. But that's what we're here to talk about today. You know what I mean? The evolution of Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant most definitely used to be a kickboxer, right? Not only, was he a kickboxer, he was a damn good kickboxer, right? He wasn't just your average old kickboxer. I'm actually gonna go here. We're gonna go to YouTube. I'm gonna show y'all a couple of his fights in just a second. I ain't gonna show you the whole fights, right? But we gonna go to a fight where Caleb Plant, was a young guy. I think he was about 21 at this point, right? He from Middle Tennessee, another guy from Middle Tennessee. Caleb Plant fought and he beat the best kickboxer from Middle Tennessee. We go look over a couple of those highlights, right? So we can see the maturation from Caleb Plant then and now. And it's a reason, right? It's a reason that I want to do that because a lot of his, a lot of people look at him and say, look at him as just a boxer, but he is still transitioning from being, a kickboxer to a boxer. He still got a lot to learn. Caleb Plant's only trainer was his father. His father is a boxing trainer, mixed martial arts trainer, kickboxing trainer. I mean, he hasn't Caleb's first time having having one boxing coach, like a coach who is literally all boxing. You know what I mean? He's still kind of making the transition from kickboxing to boxing, and he's already became a champion, right? He's already been a champion. You know what I mean? This is why I named this EP, what I named it, the evolution. You know what I mean? And Caleb Plant, y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy, whether you're here for a good time or a long time. If y'all could, you know what I mean? Greatly appreciate y'all folks sliding through. Let YouTube know they be live. But yeah, Caleb Plant, not only was his father looks so unassuming, you know what I mean? So what's good, Big Tex? Appreciate you sliding through. So we go look at, a little bit of those Caleb Plant kickboxing clips, right? And the reason I did this because I want people to understand that Caleb Plant is still growing and still learning as a boxer, right? Caleb Plant was able to stop guys and knock guys out, right? Pre-Canelo, pretty much fighting like, punching like, striking like a mixed martial artist, striking like a kickboxer, punching like a kickboxer, right? Not really turning his punches over. You know what I mean? Not really, sitting down on his punches. Those are things that he's learning. Now, Caleb Plant is still, evolving and growing as a fighter even now. He's still evolving and growing as a fighter even now. He's literally learning on the job. He just happened to become a champion, you know what I mean? So he was thrusted into, that spotlight type deal. But before Canelo, the thing on Caleb Plant was, quote unquote, right? He had never fought anybody. He had never been tested. That's because Caleb Plant hadn't even been boxing that long. You know what I mean? Just that when he started boxing, he got on it. He jumped on it quick. He had fight after fight. You know what I mean? He kind of slowed down the last couple years as his stage grew. The fights got bigger, which kind of happens, right? But you know, Caleb Payne is still fairly new. You know what I mean to the boxing game. Shaw said he looks natural from the fights I've seen, right? And that's what I'm saying, Shaw. But he's not though. He's naturally a kickboxer. He's a 4-time kickboxing champion, right? He's not just a regular old kickboxer. He was kickboxing for a long time, and then he transitioned to boxing. He's still learning his boxing skills on the job. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, I see him working with Breadman, right? And now I see him, you know, putting guys to sleep to where the fact, right? He was already, hey, I'm finna roll up, you know, I'm finna pull up. The fact that he was already able, you know what I mean, to stop guys and, you know, pile up the punches and stop guys, right? Because if you look at his last couple fights, and if you add Anthony Durrell, right, 4 out of 5 of Caleb Plante's last fights were knockouts. He didn't knock out Caleb Truex, right? But he knocked out Mike Lee. He knocked out Fun Boots. He knocked out Andre Durrell. He didn't knock out Canelo Alvarez. 3 out of his last 4 fights was knockouts, right? And that's with him not even really knowing how to sit on his punches, how to turn over his punches correctly. Now you got him with a guy like Breadman, who's helping him grow and evolve even more as a natural boxer. Caleb Plant, a lot of people think that he's been boxing for so long that he's this natural boxer. Caleb Plant is naturally a fighter. He was good enough to be a U.S. Olympic boxing reserve in the year with Tony Harrison and Errol Spence and Michael Hunter and all those guys, Jamel Herring. That Team USA group, he was good enough to be an alternate on that team, but he was still in very, very early in boxing. Those guys still had big advantages and experience in Caleb Plant at the time of that, but he was still able to be good enough to be an alternate for that team, you know, USA team, right? So he didn't get the U.S. Olympic dream, but he was there for as an alternate if one of the guys, you know, would have fell out. So Caleb Plant is still, you know, learning on the job, right? I'm about to show y'all these clip, you know what I mean, real quick, so y'all can see Caleb Plant, you know what I mean, and hold on, wait, let me get this right. I'm gonna let y'all see, you know, a little bit of Caleb Plant, you know what I mean, his kickboxing work, right? Let y'all see a little bit of Caleb Plant in his kickboxing work. I'm a mediate over it, right? I'm gonna mediate over it so I don't get no strikes or nothing like that. I'm gonna have it on mute too. They playing music in the beginning, but I'm about to bring the screen up. Let Caleb Plant, right, in his kickboxing days, and then we gonna talk a little more about the evolution, right, in the growth. You know what I mean, of Caleb Plant. But yeah, I just want to bring a little light to it because most people think, you know, oh, Caleb Plant is what he is, right? But that's not true. This dude still has a lot of room to grow, right? Just get much. Just look at how many already only having one training camp with Breadman in just that one fight, right? Look at how much he's grown already. You know what I mean? This would be his second fight. Hold on, my bad. Let me get baby on the about here. My bad. And this would be his second fight with Breadman. You know, there you got young Caleb Plant. Young Caleb Plant. That's still playing the music right there. You got young Caleb Plant. Let y'all see Caleb Plant play music a little bit. Of course, you know which one Caleb Plant. You know, they see play right there in the Agent Brown skirt. In the Agent Brown skirt, you know what I mean? I'm let y'all see, you know what I mean, just a little bit. But this guy, this guy was able to go from, you know, you big. Okay, I got a shot. This guy, this guy was able to go from, you know what I mean, 4-time kickboxing champ to 168 IBF champ. You know what I mean, pretty much off just the coaching of his pop. Hold on, my screen messing up. Can y'all hear me still? Can y'all hear me still? Let me see. All right, my bad. There we go. Okay, y'all can hear me. So, you know,
Caleb Plant was pretty much able, right, to do what he did, to accomplish what he accomplished. Just the training from his father, type deal. And then y'all see Caleb. This fight right here is Caleb versus the number one ranked fighter in Middle Tennessee, number one ranked kickboxer in Middle Tennessee at the time. Caleb Plant was the number two ranked kickboxer in Middle Tennessee. He facing off against the number one ranked kickboxer in Middle Tennessee. You know what I mean? So people see Caleb Plant fight right, and they say he used a lot of movement, used a lot of jabs. He don't turn over on his punches. That's because Caleb Plant was coming from a whole different discipline. You know what I mean? MMA striking and boxing striking are different. Though I was saying like he still, I ain't gonna say he has a lot to learn because he has learned fast, right? He does look like a natural, but he isn't a natural. He's never had a traditional boxing coach. He's never had a traditional boxing coach, right? And now he finally has a traditional boxing coach, right? So I think Caleb Plant, right, even at 31 years of age, I think Caleb Plant is only I think Caleb Plant is only going to be I mean, so even at 31 years of age, I think Caleb Plant is only going to get better. Hey man, they say you can't change a fighter, you know what I mean, in one count. But if you look at Caleb Plant from fight to fight, from Breadman, from his last fight with Breadman to the fight before that with Canelo, there's a huge difference, right? There's a huge difference in just there's a huge difference in just the whole style of Caleb Plant's fighting. With Caleb Plant, it was never like a boxing issue, right? It was never a skill issue. It was never a talent issue. You know what I mean? With Caleb Plant, everybody want to say now, right? Everybody want to say now, oh, it's a stamina issue with Caleb Plant. But if you ask most people, right? If you ask most people, in which fights, in which fights did Caleb Plant? If you ask most people, right, in which fights did Caleb Plant struggle with his stamina or struggle with his conditioning, they really wouldn't be able to tell you. They'll say the Canelo fight, right? But not realizing that Canelo or that Caleb Plant took Canelo 11 rounds. You know what I mean? They say, oh, well, he kind of, fall out late in his fights and they'll bring up Canelo. Well, he took Canelo 11 rounds. He only had one round left. You know what I mean? Type deal. The thing with the knock on the only really when people talk about Caleb Plant and him and his fights, they always bring up the gas tank, the stamina, the stamina, the stamina. And if you look at Caleb Plant, if you really know Caleb Plant, right, if all that you're depending on is Caleb Plant's gas tank to fail him, Caleb Plant to come in out of shape, you know what I mean? If that's all you're depending on, then you're going to lose that fight every time, which is why he only has one loss. You know what I mean? And that one loss he got didn't, come because of his gas tank. Caleb Plant showed gas tank issues, right? He showed true gas tank issues in one fight. And the one fight that he showed true gas tank issues in was Jose Ustadegi. Jose Ustadegi was the fight where his gas tank, it really did almost cause him. I think that was more so of a nerves thing with Ustadegi. He came out, it was real intense. He wanted to be on point. He didn't want to make many mistakes, right? So the first 7 to 8 rounds was real intense. And Jose Ustadegi, kind of capitalized when Caleb Plant slowed down a little bit on the back end of that fight. He hurt Caleb Plant, rocked him a little bit in that fight, but Caleb was able, to keep his head, and he was able to fight through and get the victory in that fight. Outside of that fight, in which Caleb Plant still won, outside of that, which still was a win for Caleb Plant, the stamina issue never really reared his head. And even in that fight, it wasn't like a huge stamina issue as to where, mouth was open, he was gassing, you know what I mean? It was never a case of that, right? I think the stamina issue with Caleb Plant is overblown, right? And I believe anybody who's depending on Caleb Plant to get tired, for you to beat him is going to lose, right? Because again, that fight with Canelo went 8 rounds. You know what I mean? And David Benavidez,
isn't Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? He's not Canelo Alvarez, contrary to what people may want to believe. David Benavidez doesn't punch as hard as Canelo Alvarez, contrary to what people, want to believe. Canelo Alvarez really is a good fighter. You know what I mean? And contrary to what people want to believe, Canelo Alvarez doesn't have the best footwork, and he's older than David Benavidez, right? But Canelo Alvarez does have better footwork than David Benavidez. He utilizes his footwork smarter and better than David Benavidez. Canelo Alvarez actually does know how to cut the ring off. We've seen David Benavidez not necessarily. We've seen David Benavidez not necessarily be able to cut the ring off against a lot lesser boxers than Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? We've seen him not be able to cut the ring off against a lot lesser boxers than Caleb Plant, right? When we're stepping, when David Benavidez is stepping into the ring, Caleb Plant is literally probably not only is he going to be the best boxer David Benavidez faced off against, but he's really going to be the only natural boxer that David Benavidez has ever faced off against, on top of being a high level, natural boxer. This is going to be maybe not, I'm gonna go get my roll ups and shit like that. Maybe not from a physically taxing standpoint, but mentally, right? And most guys, right? A lot of boxers will tell you that boxing is 80%, of mental game, right? Maybe not physically taxing, right? Maybe David Benavidez versus Darrell was a more physically taxing war on the body of David Benavidez, right? But as far as the mental go, this fight with Caleb Plant is going to be mentally the most physically taxing fight that David Benavidez, has had to get in with. Because with this fight, right, Benavidez and his pops have been preparing for this. But if you look at the press conferences and stuff, right, this is just my analysis, right? If you look at the press conferences and stuff, it's looking like that David Benavidez and his camp is still, trying to make this a physical battle, trying to make this a macho thing. You know what I mean? But I think it will behoove them, right? A guy like Caleb Plant doesn't try to out macho you. He doesn't try to out physical you. You know what I mean? He's a tactician. He's a finesse guy. He's smooth. He's a thinker. He's a counterpuncher. You know what I mean? The brute force, what David Benavidez is used to, it's not going to work in this fight, with Caleb Plant. Where most people, even Darrell, met him with a fight, where Darrell would meet him, with force, with brute force. Caleb Plant not gonna meet him with that. Caleb Plant gonna meet him with skill. You know what I mean? He gonna meet him with skill. What's good? Shower said his dad did an interview today talking about breaking the body. Yep. And the thing about breaking the body, right? And the thing about breaking the body, Shower, we can hit on that real quick, right? For a second. The thing about breaking the body, Shower, right, is that when you attack people's body, right, you leave your head open. And we've seen, David Benavidez put down by a much lesser puncher than Caleb Plant before, right? We've seen the guy that David Benavidez, couldn't knock out. We've seen Caleb Plant knock him out cold. David Benavidez stopped him. Caleb Plant, knocked him out. But when you attack the body, it opens up your head, it opens up your top. When you go low on up top. So with David attacking the body, which is a good plan, right? It sounds good when you say it, Shara, attack the body, but you got to think, you got to have your feet in place to attack the body. David Benavidez doesn't have the greatest feet. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the greatest of feet, right? David Benavidez actually has terrible feet. Attacking the body is more than just an upper body thing. It's more than just, arms. You know what I mean? You got to be into position to attack the body and be in position to attack the body and not get hit yourself. What's good, Tay? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Tay. Yeah, I just on the pre, huh? Glad you can make it. Glad you can make it, Queen. If you could, if you could do your boy a favor, hit that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Let YouTube know that we live. Let YouTube know that we talking this good boxing. Whether you here for a good time or a long time, rather you just passing through. I know other folks is live right now, but I greatly appreciate you being here. You could be anywhere, but you chose to be here, and I greatly appreciate it. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Y'all get your boy right. We in here having this conversation, about Caleb and David Benavidez. We talking about the evolution, you know what I mean, of Caleb Plant right now, going from a 4-time kickboxing champion to the 168 boxing champion of the world. It's Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez fight week, right? And I'm just taking a look, I'm just taking a look at what your boy, Caleb, where he been, where he at, where he coming from, and where he could go, right? If he is to be successful against David Benavidez this weekend. Yeah, yep, he did, Tay. Yep, he did. Yeah, he did kickboxing, Tay. Not only did he do kickboxing, Tay, he was damn good at it. 4-time champ. You know what I mean? What's Caleb Plant? And that's what I'm saying. He still got room to grow. People see Caleb Plant and think he been boxing all their life. You get most of these guys, a lot of these guys, like you take Gervonta Tank Davis, for example, he been boxing since he was like 4 years old. You know what I mean? Caleb Plant picked up boxing a little later. Caleb Plant was a kickboxer, mixed martial artist early. But yeah, he did kickboxing early. He did kickboxing most of his life. Actually, he did kickboxing. For most of his life, he was, in between. He did kickboxing and boxing, but he didn't commit to boxing full time until, a little later. Type deal. And you gotta think the reason I say, at the end, and he's still growing, right? Because you gotta think the only boxing coach, the only coach that he's had his whole life up until 31, 32, I think he's 32 now, 32 years of age, right? Which is what Caleb Plant is. The only coach he's ever had in his life was his dad. His dad isn't naturally a boxing coach. His dad is a combat coach. You know what I mean? But he's a mixed martial art coach. He teaches boxing. He teaches kickboxing. You get what I mean? He's working with Breadman now, who is naturally, a boxing coach. You know what I mean? So Caleb Plant is still learning and growing, even at the age, of 32, which is what I was saying. Just look at the progression from the Canelo fight to the Andre Dirrell fight. Just the choreography of the fights, just the movement. He's gotten, better. Caleb Plant always, utilized that shoulder roll, right? But he's gotten better, defensively. He's gotten better defensively by, just having his feet in the right place. It's going to take him a little time to get adjusted. It was times against Dirrell, right, where Dirrell was on him. He was hitting his, his body some, his arms, but Caleb Plant, does a good job of not getting hit cleanly, which is what he's mastered. Now, Caleb Plant has always been pretty good at not getting hit cleanly. But what Caleb Plant wasn't good at was, sitting down on his punches, making his opponents pay after his counter shots. That's what Breadman is teaching him more so to do. Turn his punches over, how to make guys pay. You know what I mean? When you hit them. Something that Caleb Plant, didn't have, because naturally Caleb Plant is a kickboxer. He wasn't properly turning over his punches. He wasn't properly, sitting down on his punches. That's something that he's learning now. You know what I mean? So that's what he's learning now. So Caleb Plant, what's good? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Roger. Glad you can make it, Queen. Glad you can make it. Is I know that's why he lacks power. It's just the volume of hits that make David dangerous. Yeah, facts, Shower. That's what everybody is, depending on when it comes to David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, right? But like I was saying a little earlier, I feel like the camp is focusing on, physicality. They focusing on brute, like trying to scare this guy. Oh, I'm going to be the more physical fighter. I'm going to stop him. I'm going to overwhelm him. And that's not the way that you beat Caleb Plant. People look at Canelo and say, oh, well, he stopped Caleb Plant. He knocked him out, right? But it's the way that Canelo went about doing that to Caleb Plant. He had to cut the ring out.
and even Canelo got frustrated, you know what I mean, with cutting the ring off on Caleb Plant type deal. But Canelo didn't go in there brute force. Canelo didn't go in there brute force and knock Caleb Plant out. He actually he had to hunt that man down. Like and in the first 7 rounds, Caleb Plant was actually kind of putting hands on him. You know what I mean? But he had to cut the ring off on him. He had to hunt him down. He had to wait for Caleb to slow down, just a little bit and rain them bombs on him. Yes, Canelo Alvarez used body work to slow Caleb Plant down. But again, Canelo has better feet than Dave Benavidez, and Canelo don't even have great feet. You know what I mean? He used his body work to slow Caleb Plant down. But Dave Benavidez ain't swinging with that same power that Canelo is swinging with. Baby sitting right here next to me. We watched Dave Benavidez fight, and we watched Canelo fight. Even she saw Canelo hit like a fucking bull. You know what I mean? When you compare him to David Benavidez. You know what I mean? Type deal. People that, Mr. Greg said, T, do you see this as a 50-50? Hell yeah, I do. Heck yeah. Shout out my guy, Mr. Aggressive. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Mr. Aggressive. Yo, I got 12 people in the building right now. I know more than 12 of y'all been through here. Y'all got your boy 27 likes. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy, whether you just passing through, whether you're here for a good time or a long time. Greatly appreciate you sliding through. We in this thing having us a boxing converse. We in this thing does a boxing conversation. We in here having us a boxing conversation, man. We talking about the growth and the evolution of Plant coming from being, a kickboxing champ to boxing champ. He got a big fight with David Benavidez this Saturday. I'm excited about it. I might have to go find the bar and see them up. You know what I mean? He had a fight with David Benavidez. I might invite people over. I might not be a Grinch this weekend. I might invite motherfuckers over, man. Invite some thotties and some. Every stop playing. I might have to do something, man, for the Caleb Plant and the Dave Benavidez fight. But I do think it's a 50-50 fight, Mr. Aggressive. To answer your question, I do think it's 50-50. I do see ways that both guys can win this. Again, I just stated David Benavidez is gonna have to be a little more methodical with this fight, right? He's not gonna be able. He's not gonna be able. There you go, pop. He's not gonna be able to overwhelm. You know what I mean? He's not gonna be able to just easily overwhelm. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Plant. Canelo used some skill in getting Caleb Plant out of there. You know what I mean? He used some skill. He used some tactic. He was hitting the arms. He was hitting, the body. He was hitting the hips. He was cutting off the ring. He was walking them down. Things that David Benavidez, don't really do. And Canelo is a sharp, quick puncher, right? He's sharp with his punches. He's quick with his punches. David Benavidez, he's more wide with his punches, right? He's more of a brawler, more so than the boxer, right? He's more so of a brawler than the boxer. Canelo is actually what you would consider a boxer puncher, right? He's not a brawler. Canelo is a boxer puncher. He sets up his shots. He's a good counter puncher. You know what I mean? He's actually a great counter puncher. True enough, Canelo, he's mostly all counter punching. You know what I mean? Type deal. And so is Caleb Plant, which is why that fight with Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez was such a good fight. David, on the other hand, David is a hit you first guy. He's a lead guy. He's not really a counter puncher at all, right? He's a guy who wants to kind of bombard you with punches. And in him wanting to bombard you with punches, his feet kind of get a little out of whack sometimes. You know what I mean? Y'all hit that way. Let YouTube know they be live. You know what I mean? Whether you just right here for a good time or a long time, whether you just passing through. Greatly appreciate you. Y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy. We having us, this Caleb Plant conversation. What I'm saying is, right, y'all, if you look at the fight from the outside in, you will say, okay, well, Dave Benavidez is 25, right? He still has a lot of time to grow. He still has a lot of time to grow, right, and whatnot. But if you look at Dave Benavidez from fight to fight to fight, Dave Benavidez is not really growing. David Benavidez
is not really on. He's using, you know what I mean? He pretty much staying the same. He's using the same tactics, the same way in the same fights, right? Compare Caleb Plant fight from Canelo in his fight to Anthony Durrell, Andre Durrell. I think it's Anthony Durrell to Anthony Durrell. Caleb Plant, you know, he used a lot more movement in the fight with Canelo than he did with Anthony Durrell. Caleb Plant, you know, he sat on his shots a lot more in the fight with Anthony Durrell than he did with Canelo. He threw his shots, right? And that's what I mean by he still has room to grow. He's still learning. He threw his shots with more conviction, with like he had more belief in his shots when he fought Anthony Durrell than when he did, you know, when he fought Canelo. The thing with Caleb Plant is people judge every other boxer, right? People judge every other boxer in the game off their last fight, right? People judge every other boxer off their last fight. People in the game judge every other boxer off, you know, how good they looked in the last match. Caleb Plant is the only boxer I know, right, where people keep skipping over the fact that he looked great in his last fight, right? People keep skipping over the fact, right, that Caleb Plant looked great in his very last fight, right? They keep going back over to Canelo. And they also leave out the fact that it took Canelo 11 rounds to get Caleb Plant up out of there. They also leave out the fact that Canelo had to use a game plan. Canelo had to use skill. That wasn't just brute force that got Caleb Plant out of there. You don't get Caleb Plant out of there, you know what I mean, with brute force. David is not the best. David is not the best guy. It's being nice, right? David is not the most defensive boxer. David Benavidez is there to get hit. I was alluding to earlier, he's a guy that throws a lot of punches. He puts a lot of pressure on you, right? And if you're throwing punches, right, you can't be on defense. You can't be swinging and throwing at the same time. You know what I mean? And David throws a lot of punches. David is an accumulation puncher. He's not the one-punch guy. If he get into a one-punch shot fight with Caleb Plant, you know, David's going to lose that fight. So David's going to have to be true to himself and, you know, and string together those punches. But in stringing together those punches, when you're going against a counter puncher like Caleb Plant, that's leaving Caleb Plant space in between there to get his shots off, right? And now maybe before Caleb Plant got with Birdman, before Caleb Plant got with Breadman, right? You might have had a shot, you know what I mean, to catch him before he catch you and overwhelm him a little bit. Only one person was able, you know, to do that, which was Canelo, right? So fans weren't even extreme for that, right? So you might have had a chance to do that, but now he got Breadman. You got I almost got him Canelo. You got Caleb Plant fighting much better on the inside these days, right? Much better offense on the inside because he went from almost having no offensive inside game, right, to pretty much fighting 75% of their fight with Anthony Durrell on the inside. You know what I mean? And I think he'll fight on the inside a lot less in this fight with David Benavidez, right? But I do think at some points he will, you know, decide to exchange with David Benavidez. And that's when Caleb Plant decides to exchange with David Benavidez. That's where David Benavidez is going to have to take advantage of it, right? But with Caleb Plant, especially now, David Benavidez is going to have to be careful because when David Benavidez is getting his shots off, right, when he's attacking that body, when he's throwing those hooks, when he's throwing those combinations that we love to see so much, he leaving himself open, right? And we saw Karan Davis have success, you know, punching in between David Benavidez's shots, right? His last opponent, David Lemieux, was just garbage, right? He had no success at no point in that fight. Don't even understand how that fight happened. You know what I mean? But I digress. But we saw Anthony Durrell have success, you know what I mean, punching David Benavidez in between his combination. And that's mostly because David Benavidez squares up. You know, he got bad feet. That's bad boxing. You're not supposed to throw punches squared up. You're supposed to make yourself skinny. You're supposed to, throw punches at an angle, turn sideways, make yourself small. Benavidez, too often, he squares himself up throwing all those combinations, and I think that's gonna get him in trouble when he's facing Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? I could see, with the progression that Breadman has made, with the progression that Breadman has made with Caleb Plant, I very well could see, David Benavidez getting dropped a few times in this fight. You know what I mean? Could y'all do your boy a favor? Could y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy? I got 14 people in the building. I got 28 likes. If y'all just getting in here, y'all do your boy a favor. Let YouTube know that we live. Let YouTube know that we talking this good boxing. We having us a boxing conversation. You know what I mean? About the evolution of Caleb Plant. What I'm doing is I'm answering these questions. People wonder, well, Caleb Plant don't have power. You don't hear that so much no more after the Anthony Durrell situation, right? You don't hear that so much no more, right? After that Anthony Durrell situation, right? But with Caleb Plant, right, it's most Caleb Plant don't have power. Well, there's different kind of power, right? And some guys, it's not that they don't have power. Some guys just don't know how to punch, right? And that's why Caleb Plant, could box his ass off, right? Caleb Plant was one of those guys that wasn't punching correctly. Caleb Plant was punching more so like kickboxer, right? Not turning over his shots, mostly arm shots, right? Kickboxing style, kickboxing striking and boxing striking, two different, kinds of striking. You got bigger gloves on, so you gotta put a little more into your punch. You gotta be a little more direct. You gotta be a little more accurate with your punches. You know what I mean? You gotta put some oomph behind those gloves. Caleb Plant wasn't properly trained on how to put the oomph behind the gloves because his only trainer was his pops, who is an all-around trainer. He's a mixed martial artist trainer, right? He know a little boxing. He do ground. He trained kickboxing, right? He's a combat trainer. But in boxing, you need a boxing specialist. You know what I mean? Caleb Plant just got with a boxing specialist in his last fight. And we all saw what Caleb Plant did in his last fight, how different he looked in his last fights compared to his other fights, right? The knock on Caleb was he used a lot of movement, right? And that he don't got power, right? And people say that he got stamina issues. I still think the stamina issue thing is way overblown, right? But that's what people say. But in his last fight, you saw none of those. It was the 9th round. You didn't see Caleb Plant, get tired at all, right? And you can't say he didn't have power because in his last fight, he got the stoppage. You know what I mean? And also in his last fight, he didn't use a whole lot of unnecessary movement. So he pretty much checked all the boxes in his last fight. And I think that's why people skip over his last fight because he did check all the boxes and they go right back, to the fight or to the fights before. What's good, quickly? And even if you want to say that he get Canelo, I definitely will have to disagree with you because that fight was in the 11th round. That fight was in the 11th round. Type, so the fight was damn near over. You only had about 4 minutes left to go in the fight. You know what I mean? What's good, everything, box? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, buddy. Glad you can make it, pimp. Glad you can make it. We're in this thing having a conversation, man, about the evolution of Caleb Plant. You know what? I know Dave Benavidez, your boy. It's Dave Benavidez fight. Dave Benavidez fight weekend. So I'm just talking about, my boy still growing, you know what I mean, as a boxer, even to this day, him being, 31, he's still growing, got room to grow. He still got room to get better. Right now, I'm speaking on how the fact to where you can see the difference, him having strictly a boxing. He said, nah, my boy Caleb too. Okay, for sure. You can see now, now that he got strictly a boxing coach, you can see the difference, in his game. Like one of the problems that I saw with Caleb, right, even though with him being such a good boxer, right, he had his distance, right, was a little off. He would stand to where he could punch, right, but he would still be in the range to where his opponents can hit him too.
And I noticed what Breadman did with that was, right, instead of Breadman taking him, out of range, right, making him do something that he's not comfortable with, that he doesn't naturally feel, what Breadman did was he showed him more so how to roll with the punches, how to catch punches, right, how to not take punches cleanly, while being able to sit down on his punches and deliver his power. You know what I mean? As well, he's out messed with playing heavy, 50-50 fight. He said right now I'm just a fan of this one, not picking no sides. Hell yeah, man. I got y'all know I got Caleb play. Ain't no secret, man. That's why I did my fight prediction last week. Ain't no secret. Y'all knew who I had. Ain't no secret. Y'all knew who I had. You know what I mean, from the beginning. That's why I did my fight prediction. That's why I did my fight prediction last week. I got Caleb Plant, UD, in that judge. But I do think it's a 50-50 fight, like I was saying earlier, which is how I got here. There are ways for David Benavidez, you know what I mean, to win this fight. I just don't like his odds. You know what I mean? He get kind of wild when he punch. He score himself up a lot. I just think with that training, with Breadman, I think with that game and being able to tweak Keller game, so fast, you know what I mean? For us to be able to see, I can see just more intent, more ferociousness, more, viciousness on Caleb Plant punches already. I see him actually being willing and able, right, to fight on the inside. There were times where Caleb Plant wasn't willing to fight on offensively, right? He would stand on the inside and get his defense going a little bit, and I think that would get him in trouble. But now he's effectively firing back from, the inside, not just being defensive on the inside. He's more comfortable, throwing his shit on the inside. Another thing people like to say, about Caleb Bills, actually, they don't really say this, right? After I debunk, the whole power and stamina thing, right? They go straight to this one. Well, I think David go knock him out because he go catch him on the chin. Two things to that. David not a one punch knockout guy like that, right? And if you go back and you watch most of Caleb Plant fights, right? At some point, Caleb Plant does get hit cleanly, right? And Canelo hit Caleb Plant cleanly a bunch of times. You know what I mean? He hit him a bunch of times. So if Canelo could hit Caleb Plant cleanly, right? And Caleb Plant cannot go down. Caleb Plant went down in the 11, right? But TKOs and KOs are two different things. A TKO means you technically knocked him out. A knockout means he went to sleep. SouthernTea, they the same thing. Well, let me tell you the difference, right? A TKO is what happened to Caleb Plant against Canelo Alvarez, right? But an actual knockout is what happened to Anthony Darrell against Caleb Plant. You see the difference? See what I'm getting at? TKO, a knockout. You got to be. I don't know. Well, but damn, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, it's different. It's different in the TKO and the KO. You got technical KOs, right? Which is what happened to Caleb Plant. Canelo knocked him down. You know what I mean? He got up, right? He was woozy, right? He got up. His legs was gone. A knockout is Anthony Darrell sleep on the floor. You know what I mean? Type deal. So the Caleb Plant, go get knocked out cold. He don't have a chin thing. I think that's a myth. You know what I mean, as well, because I watched that Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant fight the other day, and I realized, like on the back end of that fight, Caleb Plant took a lot of punches from Canelo that I kind of missed the first time I seen. I had never watched it back until the other day. Man, he took a lot of punches from Canelo, like square beatings, like punches where, I probably would have knocked him out. And then the punch that knocked him out, he got hit on the top of the head. He took way more, vicious punches than that during that fight. You know what I mean? So I think if he could stand up to the power of Canelo and not get knocked out, he definitely stand up to the power of David and not get knocked out, because David is more so a volume puncher. And guys don't pile up punches on Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? Caleb Plant got knocked down with one shot. you got a one shot hurt Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? You David is a pile up, knock you out guy. I don't see him being able to pile up punches on Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? If I do see a one shot knockout happening, right? I see the one shot knockout being Caleb Plant knocking out David Benavidez. I'm gonna give y'all some homework. Go back, right? 2 fights. I'm gonna start with the latter first. Go back and watch David Benavidez versus Gravel, right? Gravel is basically a piss poor version of Caleb Plant. If Caleb Plant is Walmart, Gravel will be like Kmart or some shit like that. You know what I mean? He's a piss poor version of Caleb Plant. And he was able to knock down David Benavidez with a counter. My bad. He was able to knock down David Benavidez like with a counter straight. It was like a looping straight or something like that, almost a hook, like a straight hook or something like that. And he was able to knock him down. You know what I mean? Caleb Plant, he hit way harder than that dude. He boxed a lot better than that dude. David Benavidez got comfortable, he got wild, and he got caught. I'm thinking, right? If Caleb Plant is able to catch him, clean like that, he able to catch him with a few of them, you know what I mean, like that, because they like to throw a bunch of combinations, you know what I mean. Caleb Plant is a counter puncher, and now he throwing combination punches in between your punches. David quick with his hands, Caleb quick with his hands. That big hand speed advantage that he normally have is gone, right? That big power advantage that he normally have is gone, right? That size advantage, he taller than Caleb Plant, but they about the same size. He's like an inch or so taller than Caleb, but they about the same size, reaches the same. That size advantage that he got is gone. He's not more athletic. He's not a better athlete, you know what I mean, than Caleb Plant. He's not more experienced than Caleb Plant. He ain't been in as biggest fights as Caleb Plant. Not a better boxer. His only hope is to knock Caleb Plant out. You know what I mean? And Canelo stopped Caleb Plant, but he did it with a one shot. Don't feel like David got that one shot like that. You know what I mean? With Caleb Plant, with Breadman continuing to get better, him continuing to grow. I think if he fought Canelo again, right, which is probably what's going to happen. Right? Canelo go fight John Ryder. Maybe he get the winner of Plant, David Benavidez, Eddie Hearn. Say he gonna throw Bivol back in the mix. I kind of think he gonna fight Bivol because the zone need him to, right? But the winner of this fight most definitely will be of Canelo Alvarez alley. You know what I mean? But I'm interested. I'm interested to see what happened this Saturday. I'm ready for this fight Saturday. This is the first big fight of the year. So that's why I did my jump a week. You know what I mean, ahead, because I was so excited about this jump. I thought it was a week early. You know what I mean? Type deal. But y'all know I got Caleb Plant this jump, unanimous decision. Make sure y'all tune in Saturday, showtime. Greatly appreciate y'all. Skin Highway SouthernTea. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Look. Stuff. Yeah.